Fractures and dislocation. Definitions. What is a fracture? Fracture is a structural break in normal continuity of bone. What is dislocation? Dislocation is total disruption of joint having no contact between articular surfaces. Subluxation is a partial disruption of joint having partial but abnormal contact between two articular surfaces. Pathology of fracture healing. Pathology of fracture healing in tubular bones and in cancellous bone. First, we are going to see in the tubular bones. Fracture healing in tubular bones. There are two theories or two hypotheses. First is hematoma or induction theory. Second is periosteal or proliferative theory. Hematoma theory. Hematoma formation at the fracture site. Invasion of this hematoma by granulation tissue. Removal of hematoma by macrophages. In about 2 weeks, there is laying of loose connective tissue composed of collagen fibers, which further leads to calcification and ossification. Second theory is periosteal theory. In here, fracture stimulates bone forming stem cells from periosteum and endosteum, which leads to several thick layers are formed around each fracture fragment. Several thick layers of callus are formed around each fracture fragment. Formation of distinct color of the callus around the two ends, growing of two collars towards each other, eventually to meet and fuse. Now, fracture healing in the cancellous bone. Pathological events are same as in long bones. Clinical and radiological appearance is different. Clinically, abnormal movements and crepitus can be seen. Radiologically, callus does not appear as a bony mass. It is seen as a zone of increased radio density called as sclerosis at the fracture site. Clinical features of the fracture: patient complains of pain, which can be mild to severe, tenderness, swelling and bruising, loss of function, can be partial or complete, and crepitus on palpation. Diagnosis: usually we do by radiography. Now, description of fracture or classification. First, compound fracture. What is compound fracture? When fracture hematoma communicates with the skin or mucous membrane, it is called as compound fracture. Second, we classify them or describe them according to which part of the bone has fractured. Can be intra-articular fracture, epiphyseal fracture, diphyseal fracture, or metaphyseal fracture. We also describe fracture by fracture line. It can be a transverse fracture, spiral fracture, oblique, short or long oblique, or comminuted fracture. We describe it according to the displacement, shift, angulation, shortening, also called as overriding, twist, and distraction. This is a figure showing transverse fracture, spiral fracture, short oblique, and comminuted fracture, as well as shift, angulation, shortening, and the twist and distraction. General rules of fracture healing. Lower limb fracture takes twice as long to unite as upper limb fractures. Fracture in the adults take twice as long to unite as fracture in the children. Transverse fracture take more time to unite than spiral and oblique fractures. Compound and comminuted fracture takes more time to unite. No fracture unites in less than 3 weeks. Factors influencing time for fracture healing are age, constitution, blood supply to the fractured portion, type of fracture, displacement of the fragments, soft tissue damage, apposition of fracture fragments, and immobilization. Treatment of the fractures. First, we'll see general treatment and then we'll see local treatment. General management: for pain, we give local splint and analgesia. Blood loss has to be corrected. Associated injury should be dealt with. Antibiotic and tetanus toxoid prophylaxis to be given. In local management, we do reduction and stabilization. General principles are pain relief, obtain and maintain reduction, and allow and encourage union of the fracture. Reduction we can achieve by various ways. First is gravity, by using collar and cuff cast, usually in fracture humerus, or we can achieve close reduction close manipulation under general anesthesia, or by traction. Traction can be fixed and or sliding. Usually traction we use in the lower limb fractures, or sometimes we have to go for open reduction. That means we have to go for surgery. And second part of the local treatment is stabilization. We can stabilize fracture by external splints like plaster of Paris cast, plastic splints, or external fixators. Sometimes we use internal splints like screw, wires, plates, or intramedullary nails. Continuous traction, fixed or sliding, can be used for stabilization also in lower limb fractures. Indications for surgery. Compound fractures, we go for surgery. Reduction, when close reduction is not possible. Stabilization, when external splintage is not adequate. Time factor, when early return to the normal life is desired. Soft tissue management, along with the fracture, if soft tissue injury is there, we have to repair it with the surgery. And management of the complications like vascular injury or the head injury. Complications of the fractures can be local and remote. Local complications, local immediate complications, skin, vascular, neurological, muscular, or visceral. They are caused by injury by the fracture fragment, like pneumothorax in the fracture ribs, or injury to the brachial artery and fracture supracondylar humerus, etc. Early complications are skin necrosis and gangrene, Volkmann's ischemic contracture, venous thrombosis, infections like gas gangrene, and bone and joint infection, that is osteomyelitis. Late complications can be joint stiffness, osteoarthritis, malunion of the fracture, delayed union of the fracture, Suddock's dystrophy. Muscles complications are myositis ossificans, tendonitis. Nerve complications can be Tardi's nerve palsy. Remote complications, immediate, multiple injuries, shock and hemorrhage, crush syndrome. Early, fat embolism, pulmonary embolism, pneumonia, tetanus, delirium tremens. Late complications are renal calculi, accident neurosis, etc. Now, what is delayed union and what is malunion? Delayed union, when bone still has abnormal movements, pain, and tenderness over the fracture site at the time when union have occurred. I'll repeat. Delayed union is when bone still has abnormal movements, pain, and tenderness over the fracture site at the time when fractures have been healed. Non-union is ample and adequate callus formation is can be seen at the fracture fragments, but two fails to join. In delayed union, there is very little or no callus formation, whereas in non-union, callus formation is adequate, but two callus fails to fuse to each other. Causes of this delayed union or non-union are compound fracture, severe initial injury, infection, soft tissue interposition, like if muscle is interposed between two fracture fragments, it will not unite. Poor blood supply to the fracture fragments can be as seen in fracture scaphoid or intracapsular neck femur fractures. Usually fractured part turns into avascular necrosis. Inadequate immobilization, systemic disorders like anemia, uremia, pathological fractures, and if fracture fragments are in distraction, they will not heal. Here we end with the fractures and dislocation. Thank you. Next topic is operative surgery. Ideally, operative surgery usually we cover in clinical postings. Here I am going to tell you few things about the operative surgery which are important for the theory purpose. Any surgical procedure, major or minor, we should do it in a proper operation room under all aseptic precautions. To achieve this all aseptic precautions, what we do autoclaving of the linen, operative instruments, syringes, and gloves. We use Dettol and phenol for sharp dissecting scissors or blades. Using glutaraldehyde for endoscopes and laparoscopes. ETO or ethylene oxide and gamma radiation for sterilization of sutures, tubes and syringes. Formaldehyde for fumigation of the OT. And for skin disinfection, we use povidone iodine, spirit and Savlon. Surgeon and assistant should be thoroughly scrubbed and they should wear sterile clothes. Once we take patient inside the operation theater, the operation site should be scrubbed properly with the antiseptic solution. I'm going to tell you two small procedures or describe you two small procedures. First is incision and drainage by Hilton's method. It is done to drain abscess. Usually incision and drainage is done under general anesthesia. We take patient in the OT, we give general anesthesia, we paint and drape the part, then we take incision. Incision is to be taken on the most dependent part of the abscess or most tender part of the abscess. Sometimes we have to take a cruciate incision like a plus sign. After taking incision, we insert a sinus forceps into the abscess cavity. Once pus is revealed, we open the blades of this forceps in two directions perpendicular to each other. Then we remove forceps and insert our finger inside the abscess cavity, and we move finger all around the abscess